Well, guys, we are moving along with the Batman collection. If you missed my first part of my Batman collection, I showed everything before Crisis on Infinite Earths, and that video wound up being over 40 minutes long, so I'm gonna try and speed this one up a little bit if I can, and I'm gonna stick to just doing Batman titles that happened after Crisis on Infinite Earths and before the New 52. So this is all still Batman Volume 1, but after Crisis on Infinite Earths reset the timeline. So this started off with Frank Miller's Year 1, and that started with Batman 404. This was the retelling of Batman's origin, and I have it right here. This is issue number 404. Start of a new era, and I only have that issue from year 1. I still need to get the rest of the issues, but the next one I have is really cool, very iconic cover. You may have seen this before. This is Batman 408, and as you can see right down there, that is Jason Todd, and he's stealing the tires off of the Batmobile. And so yeah, this was where Jason Todd was reintroduced as kind of like a delinquent. When he first came around, he was just sort of a copy of Dick Grayson. His family was even called the Flying Todds, and they were killed in a circus accident, very similar to Dick Grayson. So this was what gave Jason his own distinct identity, and some people really liked him for it, some people did not, and eventually led him down a very dark path, I guess we could say. Then we have Batman 409. This is continuing with Jason Todd's story, and that right there is Ma Gunn. She runs like an academy for boys, and Jason is staying there with her, so that's 409. 410, continuing that same story arc, and you got Two-Face right there. 411. Another one for that same story, more Jason Todd and Two-Face. And then we have 415. This is one I see pop up all the time. A lot of the books from this era are pretty easy to find in like dollar bins, heavily reprinted books. This is 416, and as you can see, you got Nightwing back there in his retro suit. So I believe this was the first meeting of Dick Grayson and Jason Todd. Very cool book to have right there. 422. Very cool. 424. This is kind of a controversial book because, as you can see, there's a man falling off of the building, and Jason is not performing his duty of saving this man. Judging by the placement of his hand, it might look like he even had something to do with this act, so definitely a little, getting a little edgy there for Jason, kind of leading him down the path that some people didn't necessarily like to see. And then we have Batman 425. It's a very cool cover. And then we are getting into the Death in the Family story arc, and I have a copy of Batman 428. It's back there. I'm not going to pull it out. I have a little Red Hood display, but that is the issue where Jason Todd is murdered by the Joker. Maybe I'll insert some footage of myself showing the book, but I'm not going to pull it off the shelf just now. But I do have one more book from that story arc. It's a very, very rough copy, so this will probably be one that I wind up upgrading. But this is Batman 429, and you got Joker there donning his suit, because Joker becomes an ambassador in this story and gets like political immunity. It's some crazy, wild stuff. But yeah, this I got in like a bundle with some other trades, and this was just thrown in. Very rough copy, but hey man, it's a hole in the collection filled for now. Next up, another not the greatest copy. We have 436. This is the first appearance of Tim Drake. This is Batman Year 3, and he was not Robin yet, but this was the first appearance of Tim Drake. I'm surprised that this is such a cheap book for what it is. Continuing with the Tim Drake keys, we have 442 right here, and this is the first appearance of Tim Drake in the actual Robin costume. 446. And then we have 448. This is the first part to a story called The Penguin Affair. And this ran through Batman and Detective Comics, so I'll only be showing the parts that were in Batman. So that was part 1. Part 2 is in Detective, and then part 3 is Batman 449. We have Batman 450. Very cool cover right there. And then 451 immediately after has a very good Joker cover. I don't have that one. That's one that I have yet to find while out and about. And then we jump to 452, 453, and 454. These all tell the Dark Knight, Dark City story. They're all together in here, so I haven't taken them out. I got them as a bundle like that. But this is a really cool Riddler story, and there's actually a reference to Barbatos, which plays a big part in the Dark Knight's Metal story. So, yeah, kind of a cool sort of tidbit there if you're into the metal stuff. 457. This is Tim Drake actually appearing in his own new Robin costume. You can see him back there. This is the grand reveal of his new costume. 470. Very interesting cover there. I'm guessing that's Maxie Zeus. Weird character. 475. This is part 1 of Return of Scarface, which I believe is a story that also goes into Detective Comics, and I think I do have the other part of that, but I'm only showing the Batman run. But this is a cool book because this is the first appearance of Renee Montoya. And little fun fact about Renee Montoya is that she was actually created for Batman the Animated Series, but the comics actually wanted to have her in them, and she was actually published in the comics before she appeared in the show, although she was a character created for the show. So very interesting to see there. A lot of cool female characters coming out of Batman the Animated Series. Gotta love it. And then these two are cool. I'm going to actually pull them out together since they do connect. We have Batman 477 and 478 here, and these are, I believe they actually used like real action figures to make these covers and pose them like this. I'm pretty sure that's the case with these, and they're really cool. So yeah, 477 and 78. 483. 485, that's a cool Black Mask cover drawn by Kelly Jones. Love his art. Love Black Mask. Can't go wrong with that one. 491, it's a cool Joker cover there. More Kelly Jones art, and we're starting to get close to the Nightfall era. And so the next book I have is actually the first part of the Nightfall story, and it is 492. As you can see, they all have labels there, so you can tell what part of the story it is. I have not read Nightfall myself. I do not have the full story arc. This is one that I would much rather read in collected editions, but I do pick them up from time to time. So 494, another part for the Nightfall saga. That's part 5. This is a very popular book, very cool cover to have, so I'm happy to have this in my collection. This is actually one of the first, single issue comics I ever got. It was given to me by a friend from his own personal collection when he was letting stuff go. And it's part 11. This is the Breaking of Batman, and it is 497 in the Batman run. And as you can see, it was so graphic and shocking at the time that they actually had to censor it and put this black part on the cover, so that folds out if you open it and you can get the full art, but we're not going to do that right now. But yeah, very cool, iconic image. I'm sure you've seen that before. And we got Batman 500. And I actually do have another copy of this. There are two different covers, one with Azrael and one with Bruce Wayne. And I do have the other one with Bruce Wayne. I couldn't find it for this video, though. It's somewhere around. But this is one that I picked up pretty recently. It is 500 with the Azrael cover. And it is also a newsstand copy, so just all around coolness there. I picked that up pretty recently. Then we have 505, and this one's cool because this is actually one of the DC Universe logo variants, and if you don't know about those, these were kind of printed for like multi-packs that went to like Toys R Us and places like that, and so they're very limited print runs. Nobody really knows how many were printed with these, so they're kind of rare, especially to find in high grade since it was mainly kids picking them up, so yeah, it's always cool to find one with those logos. And I always like when they have like different colors on the logos too. Like that one was yellow. Normally they're just plain old white. And then we have Batman Zero. This is part of the 0 Hour story arc. So I just kind of put it in where I felt it would fit chronologically, but the issue number on this is 0, but obviously it did not come before all those other books, so just kind of wanted to keep it chronological there. And then we're getting into Batman 513. Very nice Two-Face cover there. Alrighty, then this is one of my favorites. We have issue 515, and it's one of my favorites because it's an all-black cover, and it has this embossed image of Batman, and I love this. I was so happy to get a copy of this that looks so nice, because whenever I see these out and about in the wilds, they're always kind of dinged up, and with that all-black embossed cover, it shows everything. You can't really like try to press any of that stuff out, and for something this beautiful, I needed to have as perfect a copy as I could find, and this is damn near perfect. Like there's, you know, maybe a little bit of wear, but like to the naked eye, this is a damn near perfect book, so I'm happy to have that. 517. Love the Kelly Jones Batman, and then you got like just the over-exaggerated muscles like you would get in the 90s. That's how you can tell that these are 90s comics, like just the over-exaggeration of muscle definition. Then we have 519, just more great Kelly Jones 90s goodness. Not the biggest fan of 90s comics overall, but I think Batman was pretty strong in the 90s for the most part. We have 526. Great Kelly Jones art. I love seeing him do Alfred. Kind of different than how we normally see Alfred drawn, but really cool style, so I love it. And then we have Batman The Dead Man Connection. This is a 3-part story with Kelly Jones art, and it runs from 530, 531, and 532, and I have all of them, so we'll show you. These are glow-in-the-dark covers. It's cool. They did variant covers where the direct edition were glow-in-the-dark, and then the newsstand were just regular. So we have 531 in the glow-in-the-dark, and I actually also have 531 in the newsstand, just standard cover there. And then 532, and that's the full story. And then this right here, this is interesting. So I've never seen anything like this. So I have this, and it's Batman 535, and it's in a poly bag. And it's got like something in the back, like maybe a poster or like some other. It looks like a book. It looks like this might be like maybe some kind of a comic, like some kind of a preview or something. So I'm wondering, like, is this cooler in the poly bag? Or should I take it out and see what this is? Because I'm curious to see what this is. But I've also never seen an issue of Batman like this in a poly bag. Like something like this that isn't really anything special, isn't like a key. It's just kind of just another issue of Batman. And it says, special new magazine on the edge. So that must be what it is. It must be like a preview for some new comic or new magazine. So, what do you guys think? Should I just leave this poly bag? Does that make it cooler? Or does it not really matter? I don't know. But, yeah, this was something I got in, like, a bundle. Like long time ago. Got, like, lots of Batman stuff on Mercari or one of those sites. And that was one of the things that was in there. So, yeah, I just figured I'd ask you guys. Maybe someone else out there knows more about what that is. Someone who was collecting at the time. So more of the Kelly Jones goodness, and then I think we're moving away from Kelly Jones a little bit after that. So this is 548, and it's a dope Penguin cover. I love seeing how Kelly Jones draws all the different Batman characters, and I love that we get so many of them on their own covers like this. So I love the Penguin, and I love how his nose is just especially long and crooked in that Kelly Jones style. Alright, and then we have Batman 600, so I always love picking up the anniversary issues. And this one is Bruce Wayne Fugitive, so I think this is the first part. Yeah, this is the first part to Bruce Wayne Fugitive. Very cool, oversized special issue. And then we're getting into Hush. This is Batman 608. And this copy that I have, I'm pretty sure this is like a special edition that was like released with toys or something like that. So this is not a first printing that I have, but still cool to have the start of that story in some way. And then 609, the next issue we have, is Pretty Big Key Book. This is the first appearance of Thomas Elliot, who is Hush, and just a very beautiful sought-after cover there. You got the girls' night with Catwoman and Poison Ivy. Who doesn't love that? This is such a beautiful cover with that Jim Lee art. Absolutely love the way he draws Batman. And then the last book I have for the Hush run is 619, and it's really cool. I believe I actually have a variant cover for this as well. I think this one might be the first appearance of Thomas Elliot actually in the Hush costume. And I have the variant cover of this that I think has all the villains on it, but it's not here for some reason. And then immediately after Hush, we got this 6-issue story called Broken City, and it started with issue 620. And I do have the full story, so there's 621. And they actually reprinted this in a like noir black and white version. And that's actually how I read the story. I still did go ahead and grab the single issues, but honestly, I think it reads a lot better as a noir, in my opinion. I think a lot of Batman stories read really well, kind of in that noir fashion. But hey, that's just me. And then we have 626. It's a really nice cover there with the Bat Dude. Batman 627. These are Judd Winnick, so we're starting to get closer to the Under the Red Hood era, which is one of my favorite eras. Alright, right here, 629. 630. I have 2 copies of 630 actually. That was a newsstand, and then there's the direct edition. $634. And then this is an iconic image right here. This is $638, and this is Jason Todd revealed to be Red Hood. And you see Batman's shocked when he finds out. And I really need a copy of 635, which is the first appearance of Jason as Red Hood. Don't have that one yet. It's on my radar for this year, so if I can find it for the right price, that's the one I am hunting for. But for now, I do not have it. I do have the issue where Bruce finds out, though. And then we have 636. 641. More Red Hood. Goodness. 644. This is the War Crimes. 645. Robin's Tale. 646. More Red Hood goodness there. 647. Love that cover. The trade paperback I have of Under the Red Hood has this cover. So that's one I always really liked. 654 with kind of like this sepia tone, sort of black and white sepia tone. Yeah, absolutely gorgeous art there. So that was 654, and then immediately after that we have a really cool key book. This is 655. Watch out for this one because this is the first cameo of Damian Wayne, and a lot of people are speculating on this book. Honestly, I don't care about any of that. I just want it because I'm a Batman fan, and I actually do really like Damian. He took a little while to grow on me, but I think especially with the Brave and the Bold movie, I think he's going to become one of the most iconic Robins. I don't think anyone could ever be a better Robin than Dick Grayson, but I think as Robin, I really do enjoy Damian quite a bit, and that's just such a great cover, so I'm very happy to have that. And then immediately after that is 656, and this is the first full appearance of Damian. So, you know, the whole cameo first appearance thing, some people, you know, go back and forth, but this is what is widely considered the first full appearance, so very cool. 656, more really cool black and white covers. 663, really cool classic Joker cover there. 668. 669. 670. That's a really cool one. I always love any cover where Batman is sitting on a gargoyle. Got the resurrection of Ra's al Ghul. We have some really cool Alex Ross covers coming up. This is 678. Batman R.I.P. And we have another one from that same story arc, Batman R.I.P. Another great Alex Ross cover. This is 679, and this is one I got very recently in a dollar bin hunt. More Alex Ross goodness. We have 683. This is Last Rites. And we also have another copy of 683 with a different cover. We have 684 with another great Alex Ross cover. I absolutely love that with Commissioner Gordon right there in front of the bat symbol. Very striking, very powerful image right there. Another beautiful Alex Ross one coming up for you. 685. That is a gorgeous Catwoman cover. Faces of Evil. They did some of these where a bunch of villains had covers drawn by Alex Ross, and this is breathtaking. I love anything with an all-black cover and Catwoman, so perfect right there. Batman 686. This is part 1 to the Whatever Happened to the Caped Crusader story, and it's a pretty cool story. It's kind of like an alternate time where Batman has passed away and all his friends are kind of giving eulogies for him at his funeral and kind of talking about what happened to him. So, part 2 of that is in Detective Comics, so I won't be showing that right now. But I do have a variant cover for that same issue, 686, and this is a great one done by Alex Ross of Alfred, where he's holding the bat suit. And I absolutely love Alfred, so I love to see that he got this beautiful treatment by Alex Ross. 692. This one's actually pretty cool. It's signed by the artist Tony Daniel right there. I got this from just one of the comic shops I buy from online. They had that, and I was like, why the heck not? And then we have Batman 713. This is the end of the run, so this is the last issue of Batman Volume 1 before it moved on to the New 52 and became Batman Volume 2. And I have 2 copies of that one. And I do have a few annuals from that era, so I'll show those off as well. We have the annual from 1987. This is number 11, and it's a very cool story. I've heard that this one has a really great Clayface story in it by Alan Moore, so I'm excited to check that out and give it a read. Then we have the 1995 annual, so jumping ahead a little bit, and this is number 19. This is year 1, and it looks like it's a really cool Scarecrow story. Scarecrow's really cool, one of my favorite Batman villains, so excited to check that out. Then we have number 25. This is from 2006. You can see this is a Red Hood focus book, and Red Hood's one of my favorite characters. It's a gorgeous Jock cover. I love Jock. And then lastly, for the Batman annuals, and this is the last book I'm going to show in this video, it's Batman Annual 26 from 2007, and this is a Ra's al Ghul story, so very cool. You got Origin of Ra's al Ghul. Love the colors there with the purple. Really stands out, and just really awesome. So yeah, that's all of my Batman from the main run between Crisis on Infinite Earths and the New 52. So the next video, I'm going to do that same era, but with Detective Comics. After that, I want to do, like, kind of Batman one-shots and mini-series. I don't think I'm going to go into, like, New 52 and onward, because then it becomes a lot. There are a lot of variant covers that start to come into play, and so I don't think I'm going to do that, but I do really enjoy doing this stuff, and I think it'd be fun to maybe do an update every year to see where my collection has gone since the last one. So very excited, and I hope you'll come along for the journey with me. So anyways, thank you as always, and it's crazy because this video is probably going to be just as long as my last Batman video, so cheers to that. If you stick around through all of this, thank you.